Heal Yourself with Sarah Dawkins. Episode 21. The Power of Boundaries. Setting boundaries is an important skill that can help you to protect your well-being, maintain healthy relationships, and achieve your goals. Boundaries are limits that you set for yourself, and they can be physical, emotional, or mental. Here are some tips to help you set your own boundaries. Identify your boundaries by reflecting on what's important to you and what makes you feel uncomfortable or disrespected. Think about your values, needs, and priorities and identify the areas where you want to set boundaries. Once you've identified your boundaries, it's important to communicate them clearly and assertively to the people in your life. You can do this in a respectful and non-confrontational way, using I statements to express how you feel and what you need. It's important to enforce your boundaries consistently, even if it's uncomfortable or difficult, because this will help others to understand that you are serious about your boundaries and that they need to be respected. Whilst it's important to set clear boundaries, it's also important to be flexible and willing to negotiate. Be open to hearing other people's perspectives and be willing to compromise when it makes sense to do so. Setting and maintaining boundaries can be challenging, so it's important to take care of yourself along the way. Make time for activities that bring you joy and help you to relax, as well as seek support from friends and family or a therapist if you need it. There are several types of boundaries that can be set, and these include physical boundaries, which refers to the space around your body and personal belongings. This can include setting boundaries around who can touch you, where and when you feel comfortable being touched, and how close people can get to you physically. Physical boundaries can also include setting limits around who can access your personal space or belongings. Emotional boundaries are about the separation of your own feelings, thoughts and values and those of others. This can include setting boundaries around how much emotional support you can give to others and how much you expect from them in return. Emotional boundaries also include setting limits around what kinds of conversations or behaviours are acceptable in your relationships. Intellectual boundaries refer to the separation between your own ideas, thoughts and beliefs and those of others. This can include setting boundaries around how much you are willing to engage in debates and discussions with others and how much you are willing to share about your own beliefs and values. Time boundaries are about the limits you set on your time and how it's used. This can include setting boundaries around how much time you spend with certain people or doing certain activities, and how much time you reserve for yourself to pursue your own interests and goals. Material boundaries are the separation of your own possessions and those of others. This can include setting boundaries around how much you are willing to share or lend to others and how much you expect them to respect or take care of your belongings. Setting boundaries in these areas can help you to establish a sense of control over your life, protect your well-being and build healthier relationships with others. There are many reasons why it can be difficult for some people to set boundaries. Some people may fear that setting boundaries will cause others to reject them or think less of them. They may worry that saying no or asserting their needs will lead to conflict and damage their relationships. Others may feel guilty or obligated to say yes to requests, even if it goes against their own needs or desires. They may feel like they have to put others first, or believe that in saying no is selfish or rude. For some people, setting boundaries requires assertiveness and self-confidence, which may not come naturally. They may struggle to speak up for themselves or fear coming across as aggressive or confrontational. Past experiences can also impact a person's ability to set boundaries. For example, if they were raised in an environment where their needs were not valued or respected, they may struggle to prioritize their own needs as an adult. In some cultures or societies, setting boundaries may be seen as disrespectful or inappropriate. People may feel pressure to conform to these norms, even if it goes against their own needs or values. Setting boundaries is a skill that can be learned and developed over time. With practice and support, even those who struggle with setting boundaries can improve their ability to prioritize their own needs and protect their well-being. Protecting your boundaries can be challenging, especially when you're feeling vulnerable. Pay attention to situations or people that tend to trigger feelings of vulnerability or discomfort. Knowing your triggers can help you to anticipate situations where your boundaries may be at risk and prepare accordingly. Before setting boundaries, take some time to reflect on what's important to you and what you need to feel safe and secure. This can help you to communicate your boundaries more clearly and confidently. Talk to a trusted friend or family member or even a therapist about your concerns and how you can protect your boundaries. Having a support system can help you to feel more confident and empowered in asserting your boundaries. Prioritize activities and practices that help you to feel grounded and centered. This can include things like exercise, meditation, or spending time in nature. Taking care of yourself can help you feel more resilient and better able to protect your boundaries. Remember that setting boundaries is an act of self-care and self-respect. When you feel vulnerable, it's important to be assertive in communicating your boundaries and standing up for yourself. Use I statements to express your needs and feelings and be firm and clear in your communication. If someone repeatedly violates your boundaries, it may be necessary to set consequences. This could include ending the conversation, leaving the situation, or limiting contact with that person. Setting consequences can help you to establish clear boundaries and protect your well-being. Setting boundaries takes practice, and it's okay to make mistakes or encounter challenges along the way. With persistence and support, you can learn to protect your boundaries and prioritize your well-being. In addition to the types of boundaries and tips for protecting them, there are some other important aspects to consider when it comes to boundary setting. Effective communication is key to setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. It's important to be clear, direct, and respectful when communicating your boundaries to others. Active listening is also crucial in understanding and respecting the boundaries of others. Whilst it's important to have clear boundaries, it's also important to be flexible when appropriate. Some situations or relationships may require a degree of flexibility in order to maintain harmony or achieve a desired outcome. It's important to evaluate each situation and determine what level of flexibility is appropriate. Consistency is important in maintaining healthy boundaries. When you set a boundary, it's necessary to consistently enforce it in order to establish a clear expectation with others. It's important to consider how boundaries may differ in different contexts, such as work versus home, or with friends versus family. Different contexts may require different boundaries, and your boundaries may need to be adjusted based on the situation. It's wise to set boundaries with yourself too, such as limiting negative self-talk, setting personal goals, or prioritizing self-care. Setting boundaries with yourself can help you to stay focused and motivated and to maintain a healthy balance in your life. Overall, boundary setting is an ongoing process that requires self-awareness, communication, and flexibility. By prioritizing your well-being and communicating your needs clearly and respectfully, you can establish healthy boundaries that support your growth and well-being. If you enjoyed this, please like and comment on the episode, subscribe to my podcast, and share it with your friends and loved ones. Thank you.